Hopefully you bounce out.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, it's 8:30. We're gonna call this meeting to order. Can we stand for the pledge of allegiance, please? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I promise to try to go down the numbers correctly this time. I look for a motion to approve today's agenda.
I'll make a,
Oh, we have to.
I'll make a motion to
Right.
amend the agenda to add
Yeah.
the claims, special claims.
For postage.
Postage.
I'll give you the amount, $1,775.
I'll second that motion.
Motion second, we're gonna add that. Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Item number 3 is the minutes for March 4th. If everyone's had time to kind of read them and go over them, I did. I make the motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Motion second to approve the minutes for March 4th. The only thing I have is,
Those are last week's.
okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I just saw the date. I just about had an exception. Okay, how about meetings attended? Item number 4.
I had nothing last week. I got 3 tomorrow.
We didn't have any last week either. I had a complex department head meeting. We went over a lot of stuff on the complex. They will be working on the water leak on that tank either tomorrow or Thursday. I haven't heard which yet. So water's gonna be shut off for a little bit at the complex. Everybody was notified. They're waiting till after breakfast through the jail. I told, the guy that's gonna do the work. He said, well, I don't see any problems. We'll just shut the water down, we'll fix the leak and we'll have a plan B ready. In case for some reason you get into that tank and the whole end falls off of it. Have it ready to go. It's been my experience, when something goes sideways, it goes sideways. So he was supposed to have a reserve water tank ready to go, just in case.
Who's doing the work on it?
The guy that does our water softeners, McCleary.
Oh, there.
They're gonna change all this, the media in the filters. Hopefully that fixes our hard water, or makes it better, our hard water problem. It's causing problems in the kitchen. I don't know, we'll see. Talked about the gun range, I'm working on that. Talked about, mowing and stuff that's coming up. We had talked about, Stan had brought up the fact of maybe putting a fence around where the cemetery was. I got a lot of boos and hisses from that because of the mowing issue. They didn't want to spend all the time trimming. So thought maybe we just put 4 big white posts to mark the corners maybe.
Yeah, I wondered about corner posts with just like one little section of fence off each side of the corner.
Just to kind of just highlight.
Yeah.
I just don't want to have to come back up where whoever's on the board again in 10 years and discuss it again.
Yeah.
It seems like it comes up about every decade. But we'll figure something out on that. I got the filters and the oil and stuff ready for Tracy to change the oil in the generator. Kenny, our EMA intern, whatever you want to call him, temporary, he's gonna work on maybe seeing if we can get a generator, a new cat generator through EMA, replace that one. Of course, it'll be an outside generator set on a pad, but we probably need to look at that, because that generator that's in that building is probably original to that building. It looks like it's late 60s, early 70s generator. So we're gonna work on that. Uh. Other than that, I don't think there was anything else for me. Item number 5 is public input. Does anybody have?
Will Kenny's office be out the complex now?
It is out there.
Permanently out there?
He had as a head dispatcher, he had his own office anyway, so they just went ahead and doubled up on that.
So if you want to talk to him, you can go out there and talk to him.
We're calling.
Cause I took pictures for Brian out where I live when there would be a
I would
storm.
call first because it's a secured area, it's
Okay.
within the jail. Randy, did you have something?
Yes. On, February 11th, the group approved, $26,000 for Oakville ambulance.
Yeah,
Up to now, only time they ever talked about ambulance services was Wapello, Morning Sun, and Columbus Junction. How did Oakville wind up in that?
because the state tax description includes first responders. And they are under the first responders part of it. Says any ambulance, first responders. I can't remember the exact wording or verbiage on it. That's why that was approved.
So the bond, the tax that we passed, the county passed, that was worded that way?
Yeah. Yeah. It was taken from the state and it was worded that way to include first responders.
So if Grandview or Les came up with,
First responders, they could be part of this group and we could discuss that. Yeah. But right now, no, Wapello has first responders, Oakville does. Not sure Columbus Junction, but they're a benefited fire department. So, I don't know if anybody else has first responders. Morning Sun might, they have an ambulance, so. That answer your question?
yes,
Okay. Anybody else? On number 11?
I might have a question too.
Okay. All right, we'll move right along to payroll changes. I had 2. Did you guys see those? I have copies if you give them. And both off the share, one's roads, I think. Yeah, roads and one's the jail. That one's a new hire. Because we have one that is going to retire in May and we have one person that's out on the injury. So we're down one. He was the temporary guy.
The roads,
That
yeah.
we went ahead and brought on in anticipation of this one guy's gonna be out for a while and we have one.
The other one's just a step rate, really.
Step rate.
Yeah, Gary's retired
May
May 30th, so.
30th.
Yep.
So. Okay, Adam's on number 7. What do you got for roads update?
Roads update, in the maintenance end, we're getting a lot of blading and a lot of rock hauling done, so that's keeping us busy here. We are beginning to see some of our winter potholes on roads. And we will get to them probably end of the month or something like that. We just don't have the guys to haul rock and patch roads at the same time, so I'm aware of them and we'll get to them here at some point. We also keep getting some, every spring we see new holes in pipes. As the pipes go through those freeze and thaw, we have new holes. So we're getting after them as best we can as well. We did get a couple questions from people who are having driveway culvert issues, and I told them, our policy as of last year is the county doesn't repair driveway culverts anymore. With the loss of funds and loss of personnel, we had to pick something. And that was more of a direct benefit to individual people versus serving the whole. So If people have an issue with their driveway, they are free to get a pipe in and replace it. If it goes in the same exact place and same exact size pipe and all that, there's no permit needed. We often get a request to extend the pipe or to relocate it, and yes, you do have to have it. You have to have a permit for that. There's not a charge on it or anything like that, so that's the policy that we have now.
Did they let you know before they go and
Yeah.
bring it up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, if it's a deal where there's some flagging or signage needed or something, we will,
Don't forget the
Provide.
one call because there are
yes,
utilities running through those
Yeah.
ditches.
yeah, so. A lot of that kind of stuff going on now. We are, going around and getting a list of, pavement repair projects, going on. Been working on that over the winter. A lot of it's concrete and some of them are things that we can do with our crews. Other ones we're gonna probably have to bid out at some point and just kind of trying to figure out what the right size project is for us to do and for them to do. So, working on that. Working on the 5-year plan, probably 2 weeks from today, we'll probably do that, so. Working on that, looking at buying a new mower for the office. Ours is getting old and worn out. And the Oakville one is bad, so we're gonna move ours to Oakville and looking at buying one from a local dealer here. Got about $4,200 left in the equipment budget for this year, so we're just gonna spend that and get that replaced. Taking bids for concrete work on the salt shed project. Also taking bids for, office cleaning. Last fiscal year, we've contracted out with a local contractor to clean our office once a week, and we're just gonna bid that out every year just to make sure our prices are good and all that. Plus also give some opportunities for some other people to do it. Working on that. Tomorrow, Scott and I are going to the Highway 61 Coalition meeting down in Burlington, so planning on that. I'll pick it up. I guess if that works or
Yeah.
whatever. Doing that. A thing I saw with the legislator, they're beginning to do some real property tax reform stuff. I've encouraged you guys to kind of pay attention to that. Chance to get some input there. It sounds like there's going to be quite a bit of things, removing deduction or removing the rollback and things like that. It's also a revenue cap, which is probably an issue. But I encourage you guys to get involved in that and speak out, because while everybody's in favor of property tax reform, we also need a certain amount of money to do our jobs. So just encourage you to get involved with this. So other than that, staying busy with a bunch of things. We actually had a lot of guys sick. Last Thursday, there were only like 11 or 12 available for the entire crew. Luckily snow wasn't that bad, but we were definitely short, so I guess there's some flu going around that everybody's getting now, so other than that, we're staying busy out there. So any questions?
Salt shed progress, anything?
We put out bids on our Facebook page last week. It's going to be in the paper for the next 2 weeks. We've already had 3, 4, 5 guys interested in it, so I would encourage anybody wanting to bid on the plans to actually read the plans, because I've had some questions that are just complete. Where are the doors on this thing? Well, there's no doors on it, guys. It's a bunker, Well, I bid my walls per foot. No, you're gonna bid it per the form. Well, I'll give you the plan, or I'll give you my bid on Wednesday. I'm like, that, we're not taking bids until April 8th, so let's, you know what I'm saying? But, anyway, other than that, you guys need anything? I am gonna be off Thursday or Friday, so. Anything happening out there? Okay, well, thanks, guys.
How soon are you gonna destroy that tunnel that you were talking about, Mother Cotter?
It will probably be a late fall, winter
Okay.
project, something we can kind of work on.
I just wanted to get a picture of it, all.
Yep, you can only take trees down during a certain time, so figured that'd be a nice winter project.
Proverbial dynamite.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, a thing, we are doing, we're buying a used tank car from Des Moines County, gonna bring it up on a convoy tomorrow and leave it. It'll be down in the Oka Bottoms. There was a small bridge there, so. Anyway, that'll be 11,000 bucks or something like that. Plus a crane cost.
Thank you, Adam.
All right, guys, thanks.
Next on the list is the Columbus Junction Waffle Warren Sun ambulance reports. I think she emailed that to you. Have you looked that over?
Yeah.
It looks like the calls are dropping in all, they're. Many there were. Or more. No, and we don't have any hospitals close by, so unfortunately, our ambulance is our hospital until we can get them somewhere and. So. Yeah, it's gonna get worse. Item number 9. Discussion and possible approval of the contract with minutes for the AC maintenance at the complex. You have 2 in front of you. One is for the jail, which is the great big air handlers. About half the size of this room, there's 3 or 4 of them, I don't know how many. And the other one is for all the little
Mini splits.
splits, thank you, around the building. And I'm not exactly sure why they decided to do all those mini splits for each room, but we're here now and there's no sense in changing them.
Those mini splits, do they do heat and air?
Yeah, they do.
Well, why do we have such an issue with the boiler out there? And the heat?
Well, the boiler is what it is, and this was, there was some rooms that weren't getting any heat, and there were some rooms that are getting a lot of heat. So their remedy, instead of spending, the last I heard was like $400,000 to fix all these valves in this building, was to put these mini splits in on the rooms that needed a little supplemental heat, they can just turn them on. And I feel like more of it was maybe more of a Band-Aid, but cost wise, it made sense. It
Yeah.
looks a little ugly with all these mini splits on the side of the building, but that was before my time. You know, here we are.
Yeah.
And, the problem that we have with some of these mini splits isn't the ones they put on the sheriff's department, the newer ones. It'd be the older ones that they put on, like public health and Brian's office, Brian T's office. They actually took 2 rooms and run them off 1 mini split. So one room, they might want the air on, and one room, one guy might want the heat on, and you can't do that. It's either all or nothing.
Yeah.
So there's always a little bit of a, office battle there to figure out who wants to stay comfortable or not wear a sweater, but we might sort those issues out in the future, but this is just the maintenance that keeps them up and going. So I'd look for a motion to approve these 2 estimates so we can get.
Had we been having anybody do anything like this before or not?
Well, that's a good question. This is my first couple of months as a complex, quote unquote, not manager, but overseer, I guess. I think Brad was doing some of this before. I don't know,
They have
we
it.
had discussion about Northwest and we had discussion about Menace. I think Menace has been doing this.
Mhm.
Because when I went with Brett to the big air handlers, before he even opened the door, he says, well, normally we keep a extra belt and a filter in here so that if we need them, and he opened it up, and sure enough, there's an extra belt in there. And he says, as soon as it needs the belt replaced, we replace it, and then we order another one, and we come back and we put it. So I think he's been doing most of this.
Okay,
Now, to what extent Northwest, I think they're doing boilers,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And then we had Frank Miller kind of floating around and it was kind of a mess.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it in kind
I
of,
yeah,
agree,
yeah.
but he's doing a great job. He's very punctual.
does he give a report on what they're doing?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. He seems to be on top of it. I'm very happy.
All right. All right, bro.
Well, I would make a motion to approve, contract estimate 501 for $986, and 763 for 3,680.
Good.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
All right.
Motion carries. You'll contact Brett, let him know.
Yeah,
You want me to sign this? Let's go
Yes.
for signature.
yep, I'll email it to him.
I emailed him yesterday, he was asking about it, and I said it was on the agenda for his today, so.
Thank you.
Okay, we got a liquor license. Did we do this one already?
That
Cigarette.
was for the original owner, and now this is for the new owner, and that's why I had a copy of the license put in, when I emailed you guys the packet, so you could see who the owners and everything was on that. So,
Yeah, okay, Pedro Moore. Again, I'm not gonna try to pronounce that
This is
name.
for the liquor that the cigarette too.
The other one was cigarette, you said?
Mhm.
So, I did stop over to there and bought a pop on the candy bar one day and talked to them and met them. You can see some changes inside the gas station that one might not a little bit. I don't quite know to what extent they're gonna go, but
Yeah.
they were in there working away, so.
Mhm.
I look for a motion to approve their liquor license.
I'll make a motion to approve the liquor license.
Second.
This is for Petro and Moore and Grandview.
Yeah. Tanisha.
Thank you. I wasn't gonna try to attempt it.
Where's petrol?
Right, and Grandview right off.
Okay, it's a brand new one, okay.
Right,
I didn't know if it was this
Denisha.
one opening up out here.
It has
No,
a Let's address, but it's the Grandview.
Yeah, sure. It should have changed. I think it's been up for sale for a while.
yeah, you know.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye. All right, let's do the special claims, get that out of the way. We've got special claims. We can do that yet, haven't we? Approve the special claims for $1,775 for additional postage, for our tax mailings. I look for a motion for that.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay,
We decide.
everybody probably, right?
Then you gotta do your stamp.
If you use a scale, that's awesome. What's today? 11? Some restaurant.
No, hardly knows that. That one.
You send them down. Yes, come in there and grab one.
It'd be both pages and both sides.
Yeah, both sides. And then we're on for number 11.
But that's why I just emailed her again to see if she was
Somebody's
ready.
on an iPhone. That's where. One thing left on our agenda is, discussion with Holly on, Sam Wilson's case, so wait for her to get on here and see what she's got to talk about. Was Adam coming over?
I emailed him, but I haven't had a response,
He
so,
was here last week for that.
yeah. I know Holly and him have talked.
I'm sure they have. Picking up the boots on the open part.
Mine, when it's doing the comparison towards what your property was, say 100,000 last year, and now your property is going to be rated at, say, 110,000. And then so it would give how much the taxes are on 110,000. And then commercial, it did 300,000 and 330,000. So it's not saying that the value is staying the same, it's doing an estimate of the value going up, so. So it's estimating what it could possibly be.
Good.
So these will be going in the mail on Friday. So it's a heads up, so you could be prepared for your calls.
I thought we did a pretty good job of trying to keep everything in reason this year.
Yeah, because I mean, the rate went down, but it's not live. I mean, it was just
Right.
cents of cents.
I mean, it went, the assessor's valuation, where theirs went down and.
The world did go up 5.6 cents, but the other one stayed.
Yeah, in this day and age. Almost impossible to see things go down, it seems like everything goes up. As much as I dislike it. You need my signatures on some of these.
Yes,
And
for
those
us to
things.
be able to pay them, yes.
Got somebody new on the main town out there yesterday.
I don't know, I guess I
By
didn't,
our place.
I didn't notice who was on this.
Push it over about that thick on the opposite side.
I could see that there.
It's gonna be rougher.
Not like the one that's.
Well, you didn't do a very good job on the transition down there, this asphalt.
No, they never do a good job down there, it don't seem like.
It's not anything to have.
I'm just surprised how much they plowed it. They moved it over the other side. Maybe that's a common spring thing.
He's got 20,000 feet, we got 1,500.
No, I don't think that.
I come across it right after they did it. I was doing inch deep tire tracks and
Well, I can't believe, why would anybody spend, why didn't Junction want to spend over $1 million on the football field? What kind of
that
mentality
deer
is
tracks
that?
in my driveway right behind that pickup truck.
That's low mentality.
Had deer prints in my driveway right behind my pickup truck.
Oh, and then well, build this wrestling, Waco did over here, for what, 3-year-old?
That just holds
They
some
go
hay.
going in
I
now.
had a bunch of loose hay laying there too. I think
Don't
they
know.
come up there and deep them.
That doesn't make sense.
I think it was yesterday, I just got done shopping. I looked out the window to the top and there was a rooster up on top of one of them solar panels.
Oh, yeah.
How's the market doing?
There was, when I left
Stay
the
the
house
same
yesterday
restaurant.
morning, early,
Yeah.
early,
I mean, I lost.
two of them standing around in the front yard where they barked.
But I've made quite a bit in the last year, couple of years.
There's quite a few in that.
I agree with them.
There's someday, there's 20, 30 birds out there.
Wow.
Last load of beans, there's all just cleaned up.
Grocery price.
If they don't, you're.
Well, when I say the glass and falls it over into me and that's what he got that beard over into that tall grass. on the
Hey,
grass.
I'd like to see the
I'm surprised I haven't seen him in the chicken.
I tried to call the other office.
One that's out there.
But I told her 9 o'clock.
That's not the
It's all cut from underneath that.
No problem.
It's easy to jump on.
Evergreen tree. out
Yeah.
there, one
And
more.
I don't think
so. I talked a little crap more about that today.
I think they do.
No, they don't. No, they do.
No, not down to one product.
No.
No, not that one.
Yeah, it's going up.
It's
I
not.
don't wanna take the credit.
Yeah.
It'll take some time for that stuff.
Well, the bad part is.
I'll miss this.
No.
It's gonna cost you $1,000 more.
You
You have to have the family
Oh.
over a year's time, you know.
Probably will.
That's
I
bad.
have to.
That's bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, fine with me.
Very hard established and,
Oh,
yeah, they got all their house paid for.
Here we go.
There we go.
Where
Where are you going?
where's she at?
Right.
Okay, there she is.
Can you see it, yeah?
Good morning.
Barely.
Where are
I don't want to sit by you guys fighting too much over there. We'll stay over here.
Hold on.
Any better?
You're right.
A little bit better, yeah.
Doesn't change the camera view, so go ahead. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, we're great. Your last
I
one?
apologize that it took me a minute to get on. We're moving to a new office today and they shut off our internet early, so that was a pleasant surprise.
That's nice of them.
Yeah.
Well, what can you tell us?
Well, wait, because we're still in open session, so do we need?
Can you give us any information while we're in open session? Because we have people in the audience that
I will say
would like to a review or something. They get a little growly when I go to closed session.
Secret, it's a secret.
So that would be up to the supervisors if you want to waive your attorney-client privilege. I mean, you hold the attorney-client privilege with me as the client. So if you want to waive your privilege, then yes, I can give you advice in open session.
It doesn't appear that you enjoy that part of it.
I would never recommend that. I wouldn't recommend that anyone waive their attorney-client privilege, but it's not my privilege, it's yours.
Are we discussing future strategy?
Yes, we'll be discussing litigation strategy.
Okay,
Well, I do have a question, I guess.
okay, the press has a question.
So, right now, has all of the actions that can be taken in district court been completed?
Are you asking me that question?
Well, I think you're the attorney, so I think you're probably the only one that can
I don't have
answer
that
for it.
answer.
Yeah.
I don't, to my knowledge, yes. The actions that we could take in district court have been completed.
So the options available to the county will be to either drop the case or move on to another appellate court then?
The options that I'll provide my client with, I mean, there will be all sorts of options that I'll provide my client with, and those could be two of the options, yeah.
Okay. So, but that would be, since there is no district court, additional district court action you can take, that if you wanna, if they wanna continue, that would be, as you say, one of the options then.
I think you mentioned two, but yes, those could be two of the options.
You mentioned dropping
Dropping
it
it.
over.
That's not.
Correct,
appealing.
correct,
So,
yeah. Okay, so they have already decided after, when you met with them in the, prior to the reconsideration, not to pursue anything, has the insurance company made a decision yet?
So
Their decision.
these things I'm not gonna discuss further. The insurance company has not waived privilege as my client. So I'm not going to discuss that.
Well, the reason I'm asking those questions is because, is there a time limit for when you could make an appeal?
Yeah, there are rules of appellate procedure that provide a time limit.
And what would that be?
Those would all be within the rules of appellate procedure.
So that varies then?
Yeah, it varies based on,
I'm sorry, what was it?
it varies based on the appeal.
Okay, so, is there a cost to the appeal? If there is an appeal?
Again, that would vary based on the appeal.
So is there like a range you could give us, or?
I don't have that off the top of my head. And I'm not, I don't know that off the top of my head.
Okay, well, again, the only way that they can go into a closed session is if to discuss strategy.
Correct.
If you want to, if they want to waive the attorney-client privilege, type of thing, that's something I think that's separate from what the specific thing they would be doing today, which is to discuss strategy. Would you agree or disagree on that?
We're going into closed session
I'm sorry.
we're noticed today to go into closed session to discuss litigation strategy.
Okay, so as long as it's strategy, that's one thing. I guess if is there an effort or I don't want, effort's probably not the right word, but a discussion as to whether or not they are going to, the supervisors are going to change their mind about their previous decision, which was to let the insurance company handle it. Is there going to be that type of a focus to have them change their mind on this?
We're going into closed session to discuss litigation strategy.
I don't mean to interrupt, but before I lose a train of thought, it's down the same alley. How can you talk strategy before you decide whether you're gonna do it or not? And I guess that's what we're here for, is to see what your decision is to do it. Then if you want to talk strategy, that's fine. But how can you talk strategy, go into this and then say?
Well, it depends on what you're terming strategy. I mean, there's strategy into making a decision too.
Well, the strategy that you can discuss is anything that would put you at a disadvantage. A decision on whether or not you're going to appeal, just that is not going to put you at any disadvantage that I can think of. The attorney may disagree. But I think that type of discussion, whether you're going to decide if you're going to go forward or not, doesn't affect strategy, in my line of thinking.
But strategy may affect that decision.
Well, I mean, we have no knowledge of what she is.
But-
going to
We have no
present.
knowledge of
I
what
mean,
our options are or anything
That's
else.
why I asked if there is if there's any, is there a change here that's happened? That's what I asked
We
you
don't know.
earlier. And if there is no change, then I'd like to know what you guys need to know to make that decision now.
Well, I think we just
Not.
have to listen, see what our council's gonna present to us. I mean, we have no knowledge of what she's presenting or, I mean,
But can she do that without impacting your case? I mean, we're not asking, I don't think, or anybody's asking for the attorney or anybody to lay out exactly how they're gonna proceed. But if she says, well, we think the judge made errors on different things, or we think the issue wasn't resolved satisfactory because of the, I mean, I'm not asking for details, I'm just asking what's changed from when you met to consider on the reconsideration issue, and that's different than now.
We don't know.
well, in my mind, nothing's changed in my mind, but on the same hand, I think if you got a lawyer, you gotta listen to your lawyer. If they recommend something to you,
Well,
that's
that's what
why
got
you're
you
paying.
guys, that's what got the board into problems the last time. You listened to the attorney, and then the judge came back and said, no, that was not right.
True.
And so the attorney,
But that
I
doesn't
think
mean,
it's all-
that doesn't mean we go and upset the apple cart and never listen to an attorney ever again either.
no, but it is up to you guys.
Yeah, if we make the wrong decision, then we're still in hot water. We're in a no-win situation. We're either being grilled by the press or we're gonna be taken to court because we didn't follow the correct procedure that the lawyer told us to.
Well,
If we go by what the attorney says, we're still protected because then they're the ones at fault. They gave you faulty
what you're
information.
protected by is not having to pay the costs. That's what.
That sounds like a good enough reason to me.
That probably is.
Yeah.
It would be for me too.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't help the people
I understand.
understand what's
And
going
I
on, and
want-
that's what
I want you to know that I would try to be as transparent as possible. But in this situation, I think we need to follow what the insurance company and attorneys are telling us. We need to listen to what they have to say. And if we come back in the open session later and say, you know what, we decided, we'll tell you.
the point I'm trying to make, I guess, is that if you get into a closed session and you find that what's being discussed is not strategy as such.
Okay.
I'm concerned, I guess, that from a taxpayer and from the press, that there is maybe not direct pressure or anything, but an implication that this decision to whether to participate in the court case or not could be tied somehow to whether you keep the insurance. I mean, this is the second time that this county's been subject to firing volunteers, and the insurance company has had to pay for those cases. And I'm not sure how much was paid on the first one, because the Board of Health, but this one is approaching $100,000. And so when I had my kids get into a car wreck after a couple times, my insurance got canceled. My insurance has gotten canceled on the house because we've had the ratios go through. So at some point there may be,
I would hope not.
I would hope not too, but I would think that would be something that the public needs to be aware of. And that has nothing to do with strategy as such.
I understand.
And so,
I don't foresee that discussion today,
What's that difference? What kind of?
on whether we're gonna continue to have health insurance coverage or not.
Well,
I
How much is that?
I can affirmatively say I have no intention of discussing that with you, nor would that be my role.
How much is this gonna raise our rates by you continuing to go on up another step on this appeal?
She wouldn't know.
Is-
It's not her job.
Well, somebody needs to know that. If you appeal it, is that gonna raise our rates? Or if you just let it drop, will the rates stay the same? Because it looks to me like a waste.
Well, we don't even know if that's what she's recommending,
We
yeah.
don't know what she means.
Well, I would think that'd be a secret then.
Well, I don't
You know,
know.
if you're gonna recommend to drop it, that shouldn't need a closed session to me. Just,
We can't make any recommendation until we hear what she has to say.
I agree.
I don't
And that's what the closed session's for.
I don't mean to cut us off, but we're gonna go ahead and go through closed session so we can get this resolved. She's got some things she's gotta get done later on, so.
You're gonna let us know.
Yep. Yep.
And I would ask her if she, tried to open meeting case in Henry County and how that came out too.
They must
Do you know a
close.
time thing here, 15 minutes, an hour, whatever, does she have an idea?
Less
Just
than
because I
30
got
minutes.
things I could do, but I don't wanna miss.
Less than 30 minutes.
Huh?
Less than
I
30.
wouldn't think
That'd be under
They're on the clock.
I look for a motion to close the regular meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure you find out about raise. I'm gonna